our second to last edition of Unboxing the Birmingham Museum. I'm your host, Caitlin Donnelly, and every week we've been going into different storage locations here at the Birmingham Museum and opening up boxes to see what we can find. And right now we are in the exhibit prep room upstairs at the Allen House. And this room was the master bedroom for Mr. and Mrs. Allen. And in fact, they had their own ensuite bathroom, which was a really big deal in the 1920s and still kind of is today. I mean, I would love to have a house with an ensuite bathroom, but I work for museums, so who knows? And this is, as the name would imply, where we have things to actually help make our exhibits downstairs. So, do you need things to hold papers and or flyers? We got that. Do you need fake heads for headgear? We have those. Do you need things to put other things on, but are also clear? We have those as well. We also have things for hanging stuff on walls as well. And we're also storing actual artifacts in here. So along the other wall, I have several huge boxes full of quilts. I'm not going to take them apart because these quilts are huge and refolding them is really intimidating for me. But luckily, on the labels of the boxes, we have pictures of the quilts. So you don't have to dig through them if you're looking for one specific quilt, which is really handy. Whoever did that, I mean, bless them. They're heroes. We also have some of our older books in our collection here that are kind of general, sometimes school books. So when I was doing a program for our school tour program, we have every second grade class in the Birmingham School District come through for a tour. And I went through it and I tried to make like a second grade primer for the students, lessons that, you know, a second grader in the early 1900s might have had. And finding math problems and stuff was pretty easy, but let me tell you, the English lessons, that was hard. I am still kind of scarred for life because it seemed like late 1800s, early 1900s, every single English lesson in these primers either contained like just outright racism, really weird classism, the killing of cats, just real casual, or just really bad sexism. And a lot of times all four of those combined at once. And I mean, they're all bad enough, but I learned a lot of really weird things about classism in the early 1900s. Like they would show a picture of 4 children that looked pretty much the same. And they'd be like, how do you tell which of these kids are the pores? And let me tell you, I had no idea. Being a historian, you think I would know this, or at least have a clue. Nope. I mean, like, they all have coats, but 2 of the children were not wearing fur. And apparently that's how you knew. So I did manage to find a couple English lessons that weren't outright offensive, but man, I had to do a lot of interesting reading to get to that point. So I'm still a little gun shy when it comes to old primers. I got through it though. It's been a fairly successful program. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do it this year because of pandemic and everything, unfortunately, but there's always next year, so we remain hopeful. And on the table in front of me, I have bunches and bunches of rolled architectural drawings and maps and everything. And again, before the pandemic, we actually had a volunteer working for us who is an architectural student, and so he went through all of these and kind of lent us his expertise and wrote down, you know, things that he thought were significant about each and every one of these. So I'm not going to unroll them because then I would probably lose the sheet of paper that he wrote about all of them, and then everyone would be really mad at me. But these are really cool. I was actually here when they came in, when they were donated, and the guy came up and he was kind of secretive. He's like, okay, but I have all these maps and drawings. I'm like, cool, cool, cool. And when you donate something to us, we like to ask you a lot of questions, and it's not a bad thing. We just want to know about the story behind the object. And I was like, well, where did you get them? And he's like, I mean, do I have to tell you? And I'm like, is this something illegal, sir? Like, should I be concerned? And he's like, oh, well, you know. Okay, so before they tore down Baldwin High School, me and my friend went in there and we found these all in the boiler room. But I don't know if I was allowed to do that or not. I was like, all right, well, listen, sir, I am many things, but a narc? A narc is not one of them. I'm fine with this. I mean, if you're going to go out to the Middle East and buy a looted artifact off the black market, I will have to narc on you for that, because buying things on the black market, you will also support other black market activities, including terrorism. So don't fund ISIS, and don't make it so that I have to go and talk to the feds, because that's never a good time. I would prefer not to have to talk to the authorities. But this is fine. I'm cool with these. So a lot of these really interesting, sometimes they are for, it seems to be buildings and parks and things connected to the school district, as you might expect for a box of drawings that were found in the Baldwin High boiler room shortly before it was torn down. And some of these are for buildings that were never built. So we've been going through them with the help of several dedicated volunteers. It is really cool because sometimes people expect you to know a lot about absolutely everything in history, including like architectural plans and stuff. But, you know, some of us, we do have our specialties and we don't know everything about everything. So we do rely on our fantastic interns and volunteers who do lend us their expertise in various ways. And I mean, this is one of the many projects that former volunteers have worked on here at the museum. So, and this is the exhibit prep room. Like every other storage area here at the museum, just a ton of stuff, a lot of great stories. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me this week. We'll see you next time for another edition of Unboxing the Birmingham Museum.